populating.
Hey ladies, thank you for coming today. This is going to be our second grade literacy achievement data, and what this is a needs assessment meeting. This is going to assist me in being a leader in literacy, but also assist us as a team. So starting off with a great attitude. I've got some quotes to kind of inspire us. So lighting tomorrow with today. And I love this other one because we're a team. Coming together is a beginning. Keeping together is progress. Working together is success. Because our team is great, and working together, I know we can find solutions. So today's focus of today's needs assessment meeting, the purpose is to determine areas of strengths and areas of weaknesses in regard to our second grade literacy achievement. We're going to highlight at the very end one area of critical need that will become a grade level focal point for our upcoming in-service. Some data that we're going to examine today. We're going to look at our oral reading fluency, our informal decoding inventory results, the Johnston spelling assessment, and then our map assessment. So right now I want you to take a minute to just take a look at your graphic organizer and just take a couple seconds to list what you think our strengths are, our areas of strengths, and what areas were on target, and then consider potential weaknesses. And then after looking at our data, we'll see if we're all in agreement.
Do you want us to look at our data
So,
or the grade level data?
The grade level data, just kind of just guessing. Just take a minute just to guess what you think using this graphic organizer. What do you think our strengths are as a team? What do you think where we're on target? Or even how you feel as a teacher you're on target? And then what weaknesses?
Okay.
And you don't have to share, but then at the end, see if yours match the data. Or if you want to throw out something that we need to add. So just take a couple minutes to brainstorm. Yeah, Shantea?
What was the slide right before? With
The slide right before?
or
Just, yeah.
spelling?
Oh, sure.
Okay, now.
Put that up there for you. You can think about that, those data points. And then we'll cycle through the data and see if you are a good guess and if we match up. And feel free to stop me to ask any questions that you might have as we cycle through the presentation. Power is knowledge.
I know.
All right, are y'all ready?
She said
Or do you need a couple more seconds?
No, we're good.
Do you need a couple more?
No, we're good.
Okay. So first we're going to take a look at our oral reading fluency. So I know that many of you saw this chart, but you can see that within the district our average was 83 words per minute. So we did quite well in comparison to the other schools. And if we look at Hasbrock and Tyndall's words chart, we are currently at an average of 83 words per minute, but our goal for winter is the 50th percentile and to the 75th percentile. So we want to range somewhere between 84 to 109 words per minute for our goal.
I had that as one of our weaknesses.
Yay! Good job. So, taking a look at the stats then, if we look at 45% of students are below the benchmark rate of 84 words per minute, and 24% hit that range, and 31% are above. So I feel like this is still an area that we need to focus on.
And we have like 80-something kids, right?
Right. We about 75 is what we looked at.
Okay.
This the data that we have.
So really, that 24%, that's, the 24 and the 31 are where we wanna be, you're saying.
85.
But we have 45% of kids below.
Mm-hmm.
So we want to lift those students. So now taking a look at our IDI, our informal decoding inventory. So if we look at how we did as a district, we did quite well with 69%.
What is the blue? Oh, beginning, never mind, beginning
Right.
of the year.
So the purple is middle of the year.
Gotcha.
So I guess we could even take a look at how we've grown.
Yeah, that's what I was noticing.
I'm glad you pointed that out, Chris. Because again, the growth is what is so important. So what we did is I looked right at vowel teams because that's what we're working on because there's so much in the IDI. So if we focus on vowel teams and look exactly how we did on that, for the middle of the year, 70% of the students are above or at grade level mastery, where 30% are below. So our decoding is a strength. So what they're doing in phonics, in our group phonics, is really carrying over to their IDI.
Mm-hmm. And that's just reading the words though, right?
Right,
Yeah.
just decoding.
Okay.
So then, if we look at spelling now, good question, Chris. Now we're gonna look at encoding. So if we look at encoding now, as a district, we scored 81%, so we moved from the 72 to the 81st percent, and words correct. If you compare us with
Yeah, that's what I was looking at. I was looking at the growth though. Look
I'm
at
glad that you
Lockheed.
focus on
Look at
that.
Lockheed though, 46% to 64.
They made a lot of growth.
That's
So
because
we-
first grade did so well with encoding.
We
That's
did.
amazing, yeah.
We are amazing.
72 to 81, so that's what, 9?
So I like that you're focusing in on that strength. So then if we look at just the vowel team data again for encoding, 63% are at the mastery levels and 37% are at systematic. So our encoding vowels is a strength. If we just look at vowel teams. So now if we go on to map and look at those results, you can see that all the ranges are really close if we look at the mean writ.
And this is the grade level.
This is the second grade level.
I haven't seen this.
So this is, when I go to the next slide, you'll see I just took a look at the mean writ and I ranked them, and I'll come back to this. But our mean writ was higher in literature. And informational 186, vocabulary 185, so they're really close. So I was talking to Marianne Gaddis about this, and she asked me the question, why do you think we have a weakness with vocabulary and informational as compared to literature? What do you think? Why do you think our literature is stronger than our informational and our vocabulary?
Well, I did put vocabulary acquisition down as one of our weaknesses too.
That's good.
And we're learning that we should be teaching at least 3 to 5 new words each and every day. And we aren't doing that. And if we tie that into our informational, that would raise our scores.
Right.
But to me, I mean, they're pretty equal
They're really
across the
close.
board, because informational and vocabulary are gonna be the harder of the two.
Right, they
Or
are.
harder of the three. I mean, yeah. Can you go back to the other slide?
Yes.
I'm just curious, so our grade level mean was 181, our mean RIT score, ours was a 181, and the grade level per se in the district was 186.
Look, district green mean red was
179.
179.
I was on the wrong one.
And then
And then,
mean
is
one
the
eighty-six.
grade level's 181, but
There we go.
we're 186.
Okay.
So I found it fascinating that these scores are so close.
Yeah, I was just looking at, cause like, we haven't seen like the grade level, we have our data, so that's interesting. I'm looking at the high, I'm looking at the counts of each of them.
The count.
10, 12, 13,
Oh, I see it.
that, I was just looking overall, like 13 low, 12 low average, 10 average, 18 high average, 26 high. That's pretty good, ladies.
We're doing well. But I think it's really key to know that the literature is going to come easier because they've had so much exposure to that. And what we're working on right now in our tools is the vocabulary and the nonfiction text. And we really still need to push that because that's the area. Whoop. So these are what I chose looking at the data. Did anybody else want to add anything that they wrote down that they
I put something on there that wasn't on your original, that's why I asked to go back, but I put high frequency words. Was
okay?
on target. Or maybe even a strength, but,
So you think the high frequency words?
I just thought that would be a good
Okay.
estimate because in my class it was pretty high.
Because you see
And
it.
if my class is high, everybody else's
Growth.
class is too.
Did anybody else have anything
I
different?
put Lexile levels for the weaknesses because we still have a lot of kids who are not reading at grade level, and as we grow those kids, that will raise scores altogether, but it will make them better readers.
So like exposing them to some of the nonfiction text, the Newslier and the read works that we're doing, targeting those higher Lexile levels.
And I feel like for the IDI and just reading words in general, like 2-syllable words are much higher this year than they have been in the past. When we
Oh,
read
wow.
them and we read them and when we write them. Because with benchmark before, that was a real struggle, is to have them spell some of those 2-syllable words.
So challenging them with multisyllabic words.
So you're noticing a difference.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We go on to the next slide. So then just for your own purposes today, we looked at the grade level. And going forward with my in-service, I'm probably gonna key in on fluency. And maybe if I do a 2-day, I might do another one on vocabulary acquisition. But I wanted you to have a chance to take a look at this rate, accuracy, and oral reading fluency decision tree. And on your own, or the last few minutes that we have, you could create a list of those students that are below benchmark rate and those that are at the established rate. And going forward, we may look at some of these things in order to determine the types of strategies that I'll be teaching. I found another packet of information too that you can look at on your own. It was a K-3 intervention decision tree. It just put another spin on it. This is the one that we were given by the district, but I like that they included things such as Scarborough's rope and the simple view of reading, just to review. And they also added some more information. They have an oral reading fluency decision tree, And much of it is very similar to the one that we have as a district. But it did mention something called past phonemic awareness test. And that's something that I personally want to dig into. And in speaking with our coach, she mentioned that the past screening awareness test that was from David Kilpatrick, it might just be another source for you to help work with some of your students. And I included that in your packet, where it goes over basic syllable, onset rhymes, phonemes, and advanced phonemes. So it's just another spin if you need more data when you dig deep and look at each student. There's also some information about the letters, phonics, and word reading survey. Not that we might use it as a district, but if you need it individually for a certain student and you want to dig deeper, it might provide some more information or resource for you. But so I'm just going to let you on your own the next few minutes. Go ahead if you want to list your students on the fluency tree of the ones that are below benchmark and the established benchmark rate, and then going forward when we have the next in-service, we can take a look at some of these things so that I can choose strategies that we might want to use for oral reading fluency.
Gotcha.
So thank you, ladies. Thank you for the data dig.
Thank you for this
Thank you.
Assessment. I think this is going to be helpful for some of mine that are having trouble with decoding.
It might give
Like
you a little bit.
giving
I know we have the
background.
Hagertys, but then this is just another source for us to compare and contrast.